YouTube, hey there, Casey Dimon, TaxSellAcademy.com. If you would like to watch me as I record an episode for the Tax Sell Podcast, you have come to the right place. But if you'd prefer to listen to that podcast on your favorite podcasting platform, just head on over to TaxSellPodcast.com. But if you're going to stay with me right here on YouTube, do me a favor, click that thumbs up button. Just let me know you enjoy these recordings. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That way you don't miss out on future training videos. Let's go ahead and switch on over and record that audio portion of the podcast right now. Welcome to the Tax Sell Podcast, where tax sell investing is made easy. My name is Casey Dimon. I'm a tax sell veteran, expert, and trainer. I am the author of the Tax Sell Playbook, founder of the Tax Sell Academy, and I'm your host right here on the Tax Sell Podcast. This podcast is provided completely free through and because of the Tax Sell Academy. If you're looking to learn more about investing in tax-defaulted real estate, just head on over to TaxSellAcademy.com. Again, that's TaxSellAcademy.com. In today's episode, I want to discuss the differences between the veteran tax sell investors and brand new investors. Now, for the sake of this episode, we're going to refer to the veterans as those who have years and years of experience and tax sell success under their belts. The new investors we're referring to are those who are very, very green to the industry. Regardless of where you fall on this scale, you'll sort of learn something in today's podcast episode that will help you grow your tax sell business. Now, something else to note is this episode is not intended to knock or poke at new investors. Everybody starts somewhere, and by listening to this podcast, you're going to be well on your way to tax sell success much faster than all of the others. If you take the time to learn and apply what the veterans are doing, which, by the way, has apparently worked for them for many, many years, you will certainly reap the benefits of a shortened learning curve. So, to put things into perspective, I've personally been involved in this business for close to 2 decades now. I've invested in numerous states. I've attended more auctions than I can even remember, and I've held an interest in more than 1,000 properties. I've also become friends and acquaintances with many others who have seen lots of tax sell success and who've been in the business just as long or longer than I have personally. Additionally, I've had the absolute privilege of teaching thousands of new investors, which has also helped to serve my own personal knowledge and experience. That's the angle that we're going to use from the veterans side. Now, when it comes to new investors, we're talking about those who are very, very green to this industry. We're talking about those who maybe just heard about tax sell investing days before they started. Others knew the terminology, but maybe they don't know much else about it. And to say that I have worked with a lot of brand new tax sell investors would be an understatement. I've worked with many, many new investors. So that's going to be the perspective from the newbies side, right? So when we compare these two groups, the veterans to the new investors, there are 5 distinctions that I can easily make. And I want to go over each one of these and show you a few of the differences between the veterans and the newbies and how they look at stuff. I'll also give you a few tips on how you can better prepare yourself for the tax sell success that you're after. The first one is that the veterans have a better understanding of tax sells. Tax sell investing is a very simple business when you first hear about it. There are a number of different aspects to this business that you only realize once you've been involved in it for a while. It's only after you're in this business that you begin to learn about the tax sell process the correct way and in a detailed manner, the foreclosure, the auction itself, the title issues, the steps that you must take as a tax sell investor. In most areas, the easy part is simply buying the properties and then signing off on those docs to sell them. It's the part before the auction and between the auction and the closing stage that most people completely overlook. With title issues, for example, how can you most effectively deal with them? There are a number of different ways, yet this is a topic that just crushes many new investors. So here's my advice. As a new investor, you need to take the time to review the laws. Take a look through the rules, frequently ask questions, become involved in trainings just like this one. Go to auctions. Talk to other investors. Discuss this business with anyone you can find who is doing it successfully and ask them for their help and their advice. Much of the knowledge around understanding tax sells will come with time, but you can certainly get a jump start on that process if you apply the appropriate amount of effort. The next one is that the research, it is just plain better. It's more accurate and it is more efficient. I've watched over the years as new investors get into bidding wars over properties that I personally would have not given a single nickel for. We're talking about landlocked properties, 5-foot strips of land, and even those who will pay $92,000 for an island that is underwater at high tide, which is a story I talk about in Tax Sale Playbook. Meanwhile, the veterans in the room watch this process unfold, and they're nervous, and they're embarrassed for the buyers of these properties. The difference is that the investors that are veterans understand the importance of accurate and complete research. They know it's everything. They also understand how to research those properties in a manner that is extremely efficient, so they don't miss out on unnecessary properties while getting bogged down by the research phase. Here's my advice. Start researching properties today. Research everything you can about a property that you see online. Then drive by that property in person, comparing your online notes to your in-person notes. Review previous auction lists. Find out what sold really, really cheap and what sold for a lot of money, and figure out exactly what it was. Do your research on those properties. Use the county's tools. Use publicly accessible tools like Google and Google Maps. Do your homework. Your goal should be to learn everything possible about that property. If you do that, you cannot lose. Obviously, it's difficult to learn about what happened 100 or 150 years ago on that property, but your goal should be to learn as much as possible. The next major difference that I've seen are the investors use processes, very detailed processes. I remember the first time I went to an auction, I won a lot of properties. I won like a dozen or so. A few months later, I realized I'd completely forgotten about one of those properties that I actually purchased. Stupid, silly mistake. But the veterans, they don't make those mistakes. Instead, they use flows charts or spreadsheets of some sort. And those spreadsheets will take them through the research phase to the auction itself. And then when they buy a property, they'll put it into another spreadsheet system, another flowchart type system. Then they have set time periods for specific tasks like clearing title or marketing the property or whatever it might be. From there, they'll take it to a closing timeline, follow it every single step of the way. It's a very, very well-oiled machine. It allows them to operate efficiently. So here's my advice for this. When you're starting out, you might not need spreadsheets for your 1 or your 2 properties. But what I suggest doing is finding some way to track that progress. Write down all the steps that you think you should be taking, the steps that you think are required, and then use your cell phone if you have to remind you. This goes for everything tax related. Use a pre-auction checklist, like a research checklist, and then timers for drive-bys before the auction. And then after you purchase something, begin tracking the property from there. Be meticulous, be very, very organized in all things tax law investing. It'll make your business operate much more efficiently, which means you make a lot more money in the long run. The next one are that the vets will use slightly more advanced tactics. This applies to their entire business as well. They might have a subscription service that has a special software they use for tracking research or for the research itself, right? And then they could be buying a very specific property type to sell in a very specific manner. I've given this example before, but there's a gentleman here locally that only invests in very rural mobile home lots, the stuff that nobody else wants. He'll buy them cheap because it's not a popular product type, of course. Then he'll resell them with owner financing and crazy high interest rates. This provides him with cash flow for years to come. It's his own little niche. Many of the veterans are utilizing slightly more advanced tactics than the beginners. So here's my advice. Starting out, play it simple. Please learn the business, go to the auction, make money, allow your tax sale knowledge and skills to advance before you get in over your head. And then you become more and more aware of the tax sale business and who you are in this business, you can begin to specialize some. Like the example above, you might hate the idea of collecting small lot payments every month and the bookkeeping that goes along with it, and that's okay. Find out what works best for you by becoming self-aware as you grow in this business and then start applying it. And then the last one, the veterans know how to grow their businesses. Many of the tax law investors that I saw back in the early 2000s are still in this business, and their businesses are much larger now than ever before. And part of this reason they can grow is they know why and how to reinvest their capital and their profit back into their businesses. And that could simply mean a part of the profit will go back into buying more deals. But in many cases, it's a reinvestment into more staff, more equipment, more training, that kind of thing. Tax sale investing has been around for more than 1,000 years and people have made money the entire time. It is not going anywhere. The question is, will you set up your business to make sure that you aren't going anywhere either? So here's my advice. As a new investor, it's easy to take the short-term, make money fast, take money fast mentality. Make it and take it, right? If you do something once and you act like it'll never happen again, then it likely won't. From your very first transaction, reinvest into your business. And this, of course, also includes reinvestment into yourself. Put money back into your account for buying properties. Take the time to listen and to invest in trainings like this one. Take the time to invest in yourself so you're gaining experience, knowledge, and capital as you move forward every single step of the way. Begin planning to grow your tax sale business from day number one before you even get that first property. So there are the 5 major differences that I see when we compare veterans to new investors. The different aspects of understanding, research, processes, tactics, and growth. If you commit to understanding how to operate with more of a veteran's mindset, no matter where you are in this business, you'll certainly gain much more growth and success than the folks that start off and tend to focus on themselves as just newbies. Take into account what veterans do and apply it to your business from day number one. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast episode. We provide more completely free tax law training than anyone else in the world, and we're so helpful that we have been able to help you out. Please don't forget to leave a positive feedback for us on whatever podcasting platform you're listening to us on. Also, don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Grab your free copy of the Tax Law Playbook and check out all of our other social media for much more help on getting you from where you are now to where you want to go in this business. There are links to all this down below in today's show notes. And when you're ready to get access to our most advanced step-by-step training that will allow you to substantially shorten the learning curve to tax sale success, just head to taxsaleacademy.com and become a member of the Academy. Thank you again for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.